Everybody, happy Friday to you. Your Unk is here back for the old-fashioned show. And I've got plenty of things to discuss. I've got some injury updates that we need to get into. I'm going to let you know the latest on Quinn Ewers and what that looks like. When will he be back? I got some things that we might be able to read the tea leaves on. There was another injury, though, that has happened, or at least a guy being held out from practice that no one was talking about earlier this week. Found out about that. We're going to have the conversation about that today. Of course, we'll talk a little bit of Arch. And then we'll get into the fun stuff, which is my 5 keys to victory. Hopefully that they're listening to me this time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I'm Anwar Richardson, and welcome back to the old-fashioned show. Happy Friday to everybody. Let me go ahead and retweet this real quick. And shout out to everybody who's here, who's got here early in the chat. I saw a lot of you guys in there. Guillermo was the first guy that I noticed in there this morning. I set these things up and I kind of go about my business. But let me go ahead and get this retweeted this thing real quick because there's a lot of things that we need to get into. But I got to do all these things at one time. I'm literally my own producer and all this other kind of stuff. So hold on. Here we go. Yeah, that sounds fine. All right, let's get into it, y'all. And by the way, good morning to everybody. And good morning to you, Stephanie. Stephanie, I feel like you live in Cedar Park, though. I feel like for some reason Stephanie lives in Cedar Park. I may have ran into you at some point. Injury updates. Let's talk about everything. Obviously, as we already know, Quinn is going to be sitting on the sidelines. Steve Sarkisian talked about that yesterday and talked about what his role is going to be when I kind of asked him a question about that. And he basically said, like, hey, he expects Quinn to be on the sidelines, obviously have the earpiece in, and then be one of a support system for a guy like Quinn Ewers. As someone said, it's 9. I see a 0_3, 903 onward. I know you still sucks. And so he's going to be a support system, obviously, for Arch going into this weekend, a person for him to lean on as the leader of this team. But then also the question was, okay, well, when's he going to be back? And that's one of the things that, I want to know. I've got a lot of things that you guys want to know. I see you guys. You know what, South Anzo Queen? I'm trying to stay focused and deliver some news here. You guys know I'm so easily distracted. I'm like that. It's like squirrel. Like I'm off. I'm not doing beatbox right now. I'm trying to give you guys some news. Maybe I'll do beatbox later. You better friends. So Quinn. So here's what you need to know. As relates to Quinn Ewers, what that's going to look like. I was told that Quinn threw on Wednesday and was able to throw a little bit in practice. Now, look, he's still not at 100%, but it is a very encouraging sign that he was able to get in practice, that he was able to get out there and throw a little bit. When I say throw, I don't necessarily mean like he's running plays per se, but he's actually be able to be out there and throw just a little bit. So he's not going to play. Obviously, Steve Sarkisian made that known that he's not going to play on Saturday. What that means is it's going to be one of two things, okay? And look, I wish I could give you the final answer today, but these are injuries. You guys know these things, they're going in flux, and it's really about what Sarkisian's approach is going to be. I was told that right now he's at about 70%. And so if it was an emergency, like they absolutely needed him to go, he could go. But right now they don't need him to go. So there's no need to risk it, right? So the real question becomes, as he gets to next week, where is he? And if is 85% good enough, right, for him to go? Or do they just say, shut it down, don't play against Mississippi State, get Mississippi State for a rest during the bye week, and then come back versus Oklahoma. And now, look, we saw what happened 2 years ago when Quinn missed some games and then he came back for OU. It was pretty damn good. It was 49-0, right? So there is that thing. Yeah, Stephanie, you live in Cedar Park. I'm a Cedar Park person myself. I don't know how I know you though, but I am a Cedar Park person. Any case, let's see, squirrel. Yeah, you know how I'm just easily distracted, squirrel. So the question really becomes, okay, do they shut it down for a Mississippi State and getting ready for OU in that back-to-back stretch for Oklahoma and Georgia? So that remains to be seen. But the encouraging part is I think he'll be back no later than OU. I'm just saying that. I think he'll be back no later than OU when it's all said and done. So we'll keep I'll keep eyes on that. I'll keep tabs on that thing. And what is it? I want to drop 3 questions in one on Sark. Sark's face is like, oh Lord, it's on. First of all, JD, that's not true. That's not true. Not that I don't drop 3 questions, because I do drop a few questions. I'll be honest with you. I usually drop 2. Be honest with you. I usually drop 2 questions because we only get one. We only get one turn at this thing during press conferences. I literally think about it. I get 1 question on a Monday. I'll get a question on a Thursday, and then post game. I get 3 questions a week. So yeah, sometimes I just double up though. Sometimes I'm like, yeah. But yes, Texas guy, like at the end of the day, Sar's cool with me. Sar's cool with me. I think so he usually answers my questions pretty good, to be quite honest with you. I feel like I ask questions that make him think, and I think he appreciates the questions that I ask him. So I think we good. I feel like I've been good with most of these coaches. I feel like I was good with Charlie. I was good with Tom. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, Sark and I are good. I would know. Now I know. So I've covered Jim Schwartz. Like he and I weren't good. We were not good. I got a good Jim Schwartz story for you guys too. I'll tell it real quick, right? I'll tell it real quick, and I'm gonna get back to the Texas stuff. But it's Friday, man. It's a loose Friday. I got the other injury report that I'm gonna get to in a second. And when I first got to Detroit, just real quick, I make it like a 45-second story. You're the new guy on the beat, right? So, I'm like, hey, I want to introduce myself to, talk to the PR person. Hey, I want to introduce myself to Jim Schwartz. I'm coming from Tampa. Just want to kind of just say hello and so on and so forth, right? Just kind of introduce myself. And so it's a Wednesday after practice, or it was Wednesday or Thursday, and they pull him aside for me. I feel like it was a Wednesday. And Jim Schwartz talks to me for about 45 minutes. And he did the majority of the talking. All he did was tell me how much he hates the media, how he'll never read anything that I write. Don't ask him this, don't ask him that, blah, 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 blah. He goes off on this whole tangent. I'm like, okay. So I just walked away from that thing like, well, cool. You don't give an F about me. I don't give a blank about you. So we'll be good going forward. And but at the end of the day, he and I ended up having a good working relationship. But he was kind of a prick when I first met him. I'm not gonna lie. There's another injury report that I teased to it. And then I'm gonna jump around a little bit, and then I'm gonna get back to the Arch thing. Okay. Another one to keep an eye on is that I found this out late on Thursday night, was that Kelvin Banks has been limited in practice this week. Kelvin Banks, as you guys saw, he got injured in that last game. He only missed a play, but then he came back. They've been holding him out of practice this week because of a shoulder injury. And actually, Trevor Gooseby has been getting the majority of reps at the left tackle position. So that's another one I've got to keep an eye on. It looks like that's going to be a game time decision on Banks. It might be something that they say he's going to go. And what I was told is like, hey, Banks is a guy that wants to play. So it's going to be kind of hard to keep him off the field. But, and he's a guy like, look, I can say this. Sark would never say this. Nobody would say Banks can miss this week of practice. Let him heal up, and he'll still go out and smash La Monroe. It's not like he a guy that needs a whole week of practice. You're like, man, we got to get Banks right so he can go get. I mean, he's a first round pick, right? He's one of the first two left tackles that are going to come off the board. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think La Monroe's got anything where they're like, man, we ain't got Banks on practice on Wednesday. I don't know what we gonna do. Like, they're gonna be all right. So I think he'll be a game time decision when it's all said and done. And then at worst, he starts, and then you put in Gooseby in the second quarter, third quarter, something to that effect. But this looks like a game potentially, right? Where I think Sark has some guys who are banged up. Like, obviously, like Trey Wisner is a little bit banged up as well. Like Jaden Blue's banged up. Where if he lets these guys go, they're probably not going to play for long. They're not going to play long. They may get in there for a series or two, but or they may just suit up and be kind of like a breaking case of glass, like God forbid something crazy happens kind of situation. But overall, when we go into it, because I was going through some of my notes. Because Jaden Blue, Trey Wisner, Jelani McDonald, all game time decisions, right? But, and then now add Kelvin Banks to that mix as well. And of course, Quinn being out. Sark's always talked about, man, this is a long season. I got to have guys ready for the long haul, right? So because I got to get guys ready for the long haul, that this could be a 17-game season, whatever the case may be. I think this will be a game where I think they're going to play it safe with some guys and just make sure they get out of it. And then next week will be the more interesting one, because at the end of the day, even though Mississippi State is not a good team, they're still an SEC program, and I can still see them saying, okay, yeah, we need to take that team seriously, even though we might beat the crap out of them. So just keep an eye on those things. Just keep an eye on Banks. As far as Arch is concerned, had a good week of practice from what I'm told. Just real quick on him, and just a side note, one of the things I wrote yesterday, last night actually, is that someone kind of made sure they may want to give me the distinction, and this may come as for some, you may say to yourself, like, well, of course that makes sense. I totally understand that. For others, it may be brand new information. So if it's not brand new information for you, just understand it may be new information for somebody else, and let them absorb this. But one of the things they wanted to explain to me was what they do in practice during the week is a little bit different than what they do in spring ball and in training camp. Like usually in spring ball and training camp, that's usually more position battles, right? So you see a lot more one-on-one kind of drills. When you get into the practice week, though, it's more about the understanding of plays, the installation of plays, right? And then making sure those people execute those plays. So for instance, where you're like, oh man, like this guy made an amazing pass against such and such, and you get these training camp reports, right? Or spring practice reports, right? Right now in this practice setting, you basically have first team versus scout team, right? And all it is about is implementing the plays that Sark wants to run, or the defensive coordinators want to run, right? So because of that, and because they're just getting looks, the reality is you won't really know how good anything is until we get to Saturday. You can't really get hyped up about a practice report versus your first team versus scout team, right? Because it's designed for the first team to do well against the scout team. That's exactly what you want, right? So so that's why when I was told, like, yeah, when they say Arch is doing well in practice, right? Or even any of the quarterbacks are doing well in practice, what that means is that they're doing really good on understanding the concepts. And when they get into the film, in the film study, they can tell you everything that needs to be done, right? So that's what a good week of practice means, more so than, good on good, and all of a sudden this person beat this person one-on-one. That's not necessarily, quote unquote, a good week of practice. And there's also things that people do in order to implement just to get better. In fact, I saw this thing that really, I thought, it said a lot about practice. Let me see if I could find this real quick, because it was really, let me see if I could find this within the next 20 seconds, I think it'd be really good for you guys to pass along. If I cannot find it, then I will not worry about it. Um, it was Gerald McCoy, and he was talking about practices. In any case, if I find this in one of these interim things, let me see real quick. And I know he's a Sooner, so you may not actually care when it's all said and done. I absolutely get it. All right, well, I can't find it. I'll find it another day. And now that I think about it, since he is an OU guy, screw it. No, so there you go. There's kind of the breakdown as far as that is concerned. Want to make sure I guys got you guys some cool information there. Let me also make sure I get another thing to you, which is my main man Eric Sells Homes DFW. We're talking about practice. No, right now, Roger, we're talking about buying a house in the DFW area. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you ain't got to look any further. There's that QR code. Scan that. Listen, somebody buy a house from Eric Torres. I need a couple of people to buy houses so we can continue his partnership. Because it ain't going to. Yeah, I'll be honest. Y'all haven't bought a house from him in a while. And I need somebody to buy a house. I need somebody to hook up by hooking up Eric Torres. Eric Sells Homes DFW, buying, selling, made easily. You got that QR code. Check out his Google reviews. Check out his Yelp reviews. Don't just believe me. Check out everything else. Eric Sells Homes DFW, the man with the master plan. Eric Sells Homes DFW. And then after you buy your house, you got to go out to Specs, because obviously they got the best prices on beer, wines, and spirit. I actually have my gift card from Chad Hastings, and I can't wait to go out to Specs today and use it. It's $25. I don't know what I'm going to buy, but I'm going to buy something. Maybe during the bye week or something, we'll do like a little celebration for Chad. But make sure you guys go out to the Specs. I'll have like a little drinky drink in the morning. That'll be fun.
Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
Cheers to everybody who is there in the chat. Let me just go through here. Now that we're kind of deep into the show, let me just see who's some of the folks that are in here. Who have popped in, make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Guillermo came in first. My main man, just another favorites reviewer. Court is in the house. SEC Matt was in here. Of course, Sandman is in here. Chris Bennett. I saw Soto 806. My dude from Lubbock is in here. Text guy, Uncle Mickey. Brandon was in here. A lot of y'all's in here. Paul is in here. Sark After Dark. Of course, I talked to JD. Stephanie, my Cedar Park sister, is in here. Nick, maybe, I don't know her. I don't know. Doug is in here. Nate L is in here. Of course, South End Zone Queen is in here. She says it's Freaky Fridays beatbox time. I will definitely might be able to do that. Someone said here, hey, if y'all can help, Uncle Mickey said, morning, looking for 2 tickets to the Vandy game if anyone has a couple of spares. What you looking for, Mickey? You looking for a hookup or you looking to buy? What? I gotta understand what you're looking for, Mick, because you gotta tell me what you're looking for, like that you can't find on SeatGeek or Ticketmaster. You're looking to avoid the fees, and you're looking to buy direct. Like, help me out. I need to know what you're looking for here. I don't know what that is about. I don't. SEC Matt is in here. Let's see. Where else? JD Hack, Mark Anthony, Rodolfo, of course, the biggest hater of them all. Did we ever find out if homegirl is real? Catherine, she can't. I'll be honest with you. I think I irritate her a little bit every time I say something like I don't think she's real. But all I know is there've been no real sightings. So y'all proceed with the Manti Te'o option if you want to, but Manti Te'o thought he had a real girl, and I know she's gonna. I'll get a tweet like an hour after the show, like, I am real. Why you keep saying that? Paul is in here. And if we're going to get into some of the other things, Amr would ask Tom, when is the 50-yard play happening? Well, there used to be that too. P charts. Oh man, y'all went back to the P charts. The P charts kind of funny. Oh, the Green Lantern, by the way, my old school man is in here. Good to see you, a Green Lantern. Going into OU, inexperienced but 100% healthy Arch is better than an experienced 85% healthy Quinn. Woo! Here's the thing, Green Lantern. One thing you know about OU, listen, y'all, we know the OU defensive game plan. What is it going to be? They're just going to blitz. And so I still give me the guy that I know for sure is okay. I'm Arch is that dude. Let's just be clear. Arch is clearly that dude. But I'm not ready. Yeah, I'm not throwing away Quinn yet, man. You're not going to get me to sell my Quinn stock just based off of an injury. Like he literally had great odds of winning the Heisman. Like, I'm not throwing dude away when Quinn is ready to come back. Quinn, you are the quarterback of the Longhorns. I think Sark made that thing really clear and really made sure everybody knew, like, man, when Quinn comes back, when he's ready to go, he's our guy. Arch will eat. Arch's time is coming. But it is that time is not right now. As he said here, is going to put that gift card on the wall by the I know. Hey, I'm gonna get this laminated over the weekend. I might do this right after the show. The press pass. Again, look at that young, dapper Anwar. Look at that young, innocent Anwar. This might be second marriage Anwar. Look at that. Look how nice he looked. Look how happy he looked. Kiki is in the house. Voodoo is in here. If I didn't get to you, Jesus is in here. He said, beat request for the Friday. Ooh, grinding? Oh, let's see. Grinding. I don't know the words. Shining. Does anybody know how it goes? Grinding. Okay, never mind. All right, let's get into my 5 things. I was not gonna do it, but then we went into like grinding. I'm like, oh, now that's my, but I can't do that. Yeah, and boy, hey, Rodolfo, did I have waves in my hair back in the day? Boy, Rodolfo, back in the day, I had so many waves, I'll make you seasick, boy. Don't you even play with me. I'll put that Dax on there. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. I'll put that Dax on there, that Dax. Put that thing on, put that stocking cap on. This is before do-rags. Put the stocking cap on, sleep in that thing, wake up, boy. You got to take yourself some medicine. You got to take yourself some Dramamine because my waves will make you seasick. That's how good I had it going on. Don't play with me. Super chat that just came in here. Let Rodolfo know that Jay Witt is starting on Sunday. Is that true? Is that true? Is that a true thing? Let me look real quick. I'll try to get to my 5 things that I want to talk about. Is Jordan Whittington starting on Sunday? If that is, that would be hilarious. I don't see that, but so I keep seeing people saying the other week he should have been picked up in fantasy football. I hope that is true. Here's the thing. Rodolfo died on a hill that he didn't need to die on. And right now, Jay Witt's probably going to be like a 10-year vet. It's gonna be, he can say the blocker, but you got to say the blocker who's also an NFL player. So make sure you put some respect on his name. And I am so sorry, Rodolfo, that Jay Witt took your girl and it made you the way that you are. My keys to victory. You still got to talk about it. Oh, let's talk about this. Forget that for a second. I'm everywhere, but that's okay. Y'all play with me. Squirrel. All right, forget about keys to victory for a second. let's talk about the matchup. Let's get into the numbers. You know, love stats. I actually love some stats. I do love stats. I'll be honest with you. But I like the analysis of things. So let's go ahead and get into the numbers. Try to do this every week. The statistical comparisons between both programs. Again, I know it's Louisiana Monroe, but it's still good, interesting to know. This thing, I would love to take credit for this, but University of Texas actually puts this out. And then my main man, my producer, Tyler, he goes ahead and makes this thing happen and makes it look nice. So you guys can see everything that's here. You look at the total offensive category, clearly you can see where Texas is ranked 10th in the country. So everything the FBS ranked, we're just talking, nationally, okay? You can obviously see where Texas ranks nationally from an offensive standpoint, 10th in the country. You can see where that is from the passing offensive standpoint as well, 6th in the country. ULM is 129. There's only like 130 something teams. Woo! There's going to be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burger alarm starts ringing. That's actually, I don't know, because that's a Biggie reference, but there's also a Diddy in there. I don't even know how do we separate the two going forward. I don't even know, because I mean, there's Diddy in that song, but there's Biggie in that song. Like I don't know what to do. We got to talk about that at some point. You can see where the hard scoring offense, Texas is ranked 10th. Scoring defense, obviously, you can see that's a little bit further down. That's tied for 5th. But you can just see where all the numbers are. You can see the things that pop out to you. The third down conversion percentage, Texas being tied for 23rd in the country. Defense is the real big one. Third down conversion percentage by the other opposing teams. Texas is ranked 10th. So statistically, Texas is dominating here. Okay, like you can just see all the categories that they are. Like we know what this is. Right, we know what this is. We cannot act like we don't know what's about to happen or what should happen if Texas goes out and brings their A game the way that they should. So I'm gonna go over what my keys to the games were last week. And then I'll go into what my keys to the game are this week. I'll go ahead and take that one down. I hate when I do that because then I got to put this thing. All right, here we go. All right, so there we go. So last week, my keys to the games were 1, air it out. 2, limit the turnovers. 3, I said the Trey Wisner and Jarrett Gibson show. 4, I said just use base formations. You don't have to do anything fancy to beat this team. And 5, which was what I thought I saved the most important thing for last. I said avoid injuries. So in my keys to victory, starting with number 1 this week, as far as Louisiana Monroe is concerned, I'll start with the most important thing first. Because clearly I put that at number 5 last week, and not everybody got the memo. So let me go ahead and make sure everybody gets the memo now. Avoid injuries. Now, clearly, obviously, we know injuries are sometimes unavoidable. I get it, right? We all get it. So when I say avoid injuries, Quinn Ewers didn't purposely hurt himself. Kelvin Banks didn't purposely hurt himself. Like, I don't take it literally. I know some people take stuff literally. Don't take it literally. I'm like, well, make sure you don't hurt yourself. No, don't be silly. I mean, in an optimistic world where we know that La Monroe is just a team that you're supposed to beat down in a tune-up game for Mississippi State, I'm saying in an optimistic world, one of the best scenarios for Texas, a victory for the long term of the season, is avoiding injuries. Now, again, it's hard to avoid injuries. But if all goes well, Texas is able to walk out of here on Saturday with nobody else hurt. Nobody else hurt. So y'all bang what you need to bang. Bang, bang. No more injuries. No more injuries. No more medical tests. No more medical tests. Like, we don't need to see nobody else in these medical tests. We need. So that, honestly, especially for key injuries, that's why, and I'll get into another thing too, but would be one of my keys is to make sure you just play some of these backups, and that's going to be one of my other keys as well. But at the end of the day, just if Texas just walk away with that, it's fine. Number two. The other thing that I said that is a huge key, I think, for this game is don't look ahead to Mississippi State. And then you're like, well, why would you look ahead at Mississippi State? They're trash. Okay, fair enough. Good point. That being said, it's still going to be like their first official SEC conference game, right? It's going to be at home. It's going to be a pretty good environment. It should be fun, right? It should be a really fun thing. And so it's easy, even though Mississippi State is trash, it's still going to be something I think it's easy to get the guys hyped up about because, you got to say it's an SEC team. It's, anything can happen. Look at Kentucky, what happened this past week, the other week against Georgia. Like, you got to take everybody serious. By the way, why are y'all on Kurt Bowles? Like, what the hell? You talk about me getting off the rails. Y'all get off the rails whenever somebody mentions Kurt Bowles. Don't look ahead at Mississippi State. This is a team that you're better than. You're better than. I know you're better than. Hell, they know you're better than them. I mean, there may be a couple of people that try to talk themselves into it, but they know that. St. Paul sits down to pee. That was funny. I think that was like a Larry David, like Curb Your Enthusiasm episode one time when he started talking about that, and it was really funny. Nonetheless, then again, I'll be honest with you. There are probably some ladies, some wives out there, some moms out there, some girlfriends out there who wishes some of you nasty men would sit down and pee because your aim is so damn bad and they're tired of cleaning up the toilets after your ass. So some of you guys probably need to put the pride aside until your aim gets better, and you probably need to sit down so she doesn't have to clean up after your nasty behind. Okay, don't look ahead to Mississippi State. Sorry, ladies, I had to speak for you, ladies. I had to speak for you. Don't look ahead at Mississippi State. Go ahead, put the smack down, put up a bunch of points, get out of there, and enjoy yourself. All right, now here's one that's a little bit more on the field for you guys. And this is legit for me. I need quicker releases by Arch Manning, right? And so what do I mean by that? I know Sark said it was cool, okay, Arch he got hit from behind and, he was able to kind of like knock the rust off kind of thing. I don't need Quinn. I don't need Quinn, but I definitely don't need Arch taking hits. I know he's a big guy. I know he can take a hit. I don't need you taking hits though, bro. I need you to get rid of that ball. I need you to get rid of that ball as fast. I need you to make your quick reads, and if you ain't got it, throw it away or haul ass. But what I don't need you to be on a 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi count and getting hit. So for me, one of the things I want to see. Why are y'all talking about Kirk? I need to see him. I don't even know where. I have to go back in the chat and see who started the Kurt Bowles thing and how this thing got started. But nonetheless, quick releases by Arch. And good morning to you, Mike Torres. Austin FC plays this weekend. I know you will be there in the supporters section. Look for my son, Max. He'll be there as well with his mom. I will be at the other game that's in town. Number 4 for me. And it's a simple one. And you can say that Yes, it is. It is onward. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. I'm trying to do the show. Then I see something. I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? It's Friday. It's a fun day. Freaky Friday. You know, it's life is fun, man. Life is fun. You gotta laugh and enjoy it. So I'm laughing. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Limit the turnovers though. We're gonna get through this. Oh, everybody who suffers with ADHD is gonna appreciate this show. They're like, man, this show's really made for me. You don't focus. You don't stay on one topic for long enough for me to lose my focus. I love this show. Limit the turnovers. So ULM sucks. They suck. So the only thing you can do is give them the opportunity to get in by miscues, right? That's it. Like that's the thing. So as long as Texas doesn't turn the ball over with interceptions and fumbles and and special teams stuff, like all those kind of things, as long as they get through that, they're going to be absolutely fine. Just limit the turnovers. And then number 5, y'all are off the chain. Who started the Kirk Bowles conversation? I mean, Kirk Bowles still reads the newspaper. Now that is true. That is true. Those guys. I worked in the Tampa Tribune. I've said this story before, but for those who haven't heard it, because you may not listen to my show every single day, which is fine. I understand that. I used to work at the Tampa Tribune. This is how clueless newspaper management was for so many years, y'all. For so many years, I promise you. I went to some of the meetings and I heard some of the most inept proclamations and edicts and all these kind of things, right? So here's what they said. Twitter comes out, right? And people are getting on Twitter and that becomes like a thing and people put stuff on Twitter. And they literally sit in this, we have a meeting to talk about social media and Twitter. So whatever, how many years ago that was, right? So it's a long time ago. And our newspaper manager said, you guys don't have to worry about Twitter. Let me tell you, you guys actually aren't even allowed to be on Twitter. And they said, you know what? Twitter will never become anything special. You know why? Because everybody loves the feel of a newspaper. And the thing that we have that they don't have is that we have a newspaper that people just love the feel and love the touch. And no one will ever give that up. This is literally what we were told. And then eventually, when they allowed us to have Twitter, we were not allowed to have individual accounts. You had to be under the Tribune account. So it was a Tribune Sports account, and then everything that got tweeted out just said Tribune Sports. It never had a name attached, anything to that effect, because they were like, you can't be an individual. They thought that would be detrimental. Seriously. And so then it would be like Tribune Sports. And then they like expanded it. It was like Tribune's Bucks. And then it was colleges and then USF and things like that. And then I literally never had my own individual Twitter account until I got the job in Detroit. And then I started my own individual Twitter account. So if you look on my Twitter page and you see when it says I joined and it says October 2011, that is actually when I started covering the Lions. And I created my own Twitter account because even in 2011, I was not allowed to have an individual Twitter account because the newspapers thought that was be somehow detrimental. And they want to know why did so many of us close? Oh, by the way, the Tampa Tribune, which I used to work at, is actually now a condo because they closed and they shut it down. Anyway, limited turnovers. Last one. Last one. Story time. I got so many fun stories from there. Number 5, the key to the victory. And the victory is not a short-term thing. I'm talking about long-term. So I'm not necessarily talking about, well, how do you beat La Monroe? Show up. All right, let's not get crazy. You know, so wait, he's like, beat them on third downs. All right, I'll save the real analysis for when they play like really good teams. The parade of backups, I think, is important. When we talked about going into the season, right? The thing that I said that I thought was going to be really good for Texas is that, with the exception of, and I said this continuously, I said with the exception of the Michigan game, Texas will be able to play a lot of backups in the first game versus Colorado State, a lot of backups versus UTSA, a lot of backups versus La Monroe, and potentially versus Mississippi State. So this becomes a time where you can get more guys work, a lot of guys who are your backups, a lot of work. So I'm talking about having guys come off the bench in the second quarter, third quarter. And I think one of Sark's things that he likes to do is that even if he limits their playing time in the second quarter, he'll have them like start off in the third quarter, just coming out of the locker room and getting that routine back. And then they start again in the third quarter. Then he'll go ahead and pull them after that. And anybody who is on this roster who has the ability to play, with anybody who is willing and able, who can do it. If you are able, you know when they say that if you are able, please stand for the national anthem. Yeah. If you are able and you can play, go ahead and play in this game. Now, if you don't play in this game, well, you know you got a lot of work to do. But I just need a parade of backups. I'd be fine with Arch not playing much past third quarter and a half or so, and then a few play, and then pull him, and then put in Trey Owens, and then give me some Cole Lord at the end. I got to pass the ball a little bit. But, you know, one of the keys to avoiding injuries, which I thought was one of my number one keys, is put in these backups. Just put in a bunch of backups. Give me a parade of backups. Give me everybody who's there and save those guys for the games that you need them. So the first one for me, the first key to victory was obviously is going to be the avoidance of injuries. Again, what I try to preface that by saying is, obviously, you can't quote unquote avoid it per se, not during football, but I just say from an optimal standpoint, if you're able to avoid it, that would be the best thing and one of the best scenarios. 2, what I said is don't look ahead to Mississippi State. La Monroe is not really the greatest team, but you still want to come in. You know, I say good teams always make bad teams look bad. And that's the task. Go ahead and make this bad team look bad, and then go from there. I said quicker releases by Arch Manning. I just need him to get rid of that ball. I don't necessarily need. I don't need you getting hit. We don't need no more problems. We don't need no more trouble around here. We good. We don't need no more medical tents. We don't know more. Just get rid of the ball. I think you'll be okay. And then make sure you slide to Arch, because that's going to be important. Limited turnovers, of course. La Monroe, bad team. You don't necessarily need to give them the opportunity to get back into the game. And number 5, I said, parade of backup players. The more backups you can play, the better off you would be. And that, my friends, is it. All right. Before we go, let me do a couple of things. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I don't want anybody to say this thing. Wait. No, Jay Wood starting on Sunday. I got that super chat already there. Let me scroll through. Make sure. See, the thing is, y'all talking so much about bowls. There's so many comments in here, by the way. What are y'all gonna do? You know what? You got to get your jokes in now, right? Because he's a little bit of an older fella. He's in decent shape, but what are y'all gonna do when the Lord calls him home? Because now you won't be able to do those jokes anymore. So you gotta do them now, right? You gotta get them done now. You gotta knock them out. Can we get a rap battle between you and Kurt Bowles? I don't know if Kurt knows much about rap. I doubt he can name more than 5 rappers. I'll be honest with you. I don't think so. Okay. So right now, just so we're clear, everybody's clear who's watching the show. All of our sports takes are done. So I'm just going through the chats. I'll try to catch up on what everybody else was saying while I was trying to stay focused. So if you just feel like I just want my sports, I just want sports, and that's all I want, and I don't want to talk about anything else on the sports because my life is that serious. Okay, well, you are free to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You hit the X. I'm gonna go through everybody else. Okay, we are not going to have a Diddy Freak Off Friday. Nobody bring lube. Nobody bring lube. The Diddy stuff on X and Instagram is off the chain at this moment. I cannot get just people sending this thing to me. Yes, Kurt Bowles drives slow in the fast lane. That's crazy. Mike Torres said to me, he's trying to figure out, debating on which one to go to, but big ATX FC game on Saturday. So Mike Torres is going to watch Austin FC as opposed to Texas versus La Monroe. I absolutely 100% get it. Bowles invented Wi-Fi. he may have invented Catch's Wi-Fi. Might be the reason why it's always kind of sketchy. If you tell me Bowles invented the Wi-Fi in the Woodlands, I would absolutely believe that one. Because that man, he said Kurt Bowles doesn't use direct deposit for his paychecks. Now that's funny. That one is actually things. Let's see. Zio_V. Let's just go through cover. Bowles attended Diddy's freak offs in the 90s. I don't think dude. You say that's how you got that columnist position? Like the Statesman had a party somewhere in Austin. They're like, you want to be a columnist, huh? Harish says Bowles still uses a flip phone. Probably be the best thing for some of y'all. Y'all get caught up in all your stuff there. Probably needs there. Bowles still watches his TV in 420p. You know, he's got a UHF versus VHF kind of thing. This is hilarious. Bowles drinks apple juice at the bar. Damn. That. Even worse, South Enzo Sweet said he orders milk at the bar. No, let's see. Okay, here's a couple of more. Okay, all right, here we go. Bowles goes to Springfield for his gourmet dinners. I don't know if anybody can top this. This one's a good one. Bowles was in the movie Cocoon as an extra. I don't know. The Springfield one is tough to top, man. The Springfield one, this one here, I don't know. I'm going through all this one. Nah, the Springfield one is the winner. I'm sorry. Springfield is the winner. That one is it. I'm gonna put that one. If I can find it, that is the one that's there. What is this one here too? I'm done. I just shouldn't have put that one up. I'm not even gonna read that out loud for someone who is there. I'm not reading that out loud. I should have screened that one better, y'all. That one's on me. I should have screened that one better. I kind of just saw halfway, and I didn't. That's a total Anwar thing. That is totally Anwar thing. Mark Anthony says, "Okay, who is verifying that South End Zone Queen is real?" I can verify that South End Zone Queen is real. I've met her before. I met her, and her lovely spouse. So I can verify. I got to clarify that too, right? Because I know y'all dirty. I'm like, yo, I can verify Salvezzo Queen is real. I mean, what you wanna know? No, I met her and her spouse. And so they've been happily married for years. So she's definitely a real person. Now, Catherine, I don't know. But Salvezzo Queen, I can definitely verify is the real deal. And good people. She gets on my nerves a little bit, but she's good people. And yeah, I don't know where the hell Tom G is. I'll be honest, last thing before we go. I don't know what happened to Tom G. I don't know. And really, Eric Sells Holmes, Eric Torres. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going. I'll have to message those guys and see. Maybe somebody got offended. I saw but Tom G was in the post game. But you know what? It's probably a good idea for me to go check on him to make sure he's okay, because it has been a hot minute since I've heard from him. So let me go ahead and check them out. All right, y'all. We're done. It's Friday. It's time for us to go and have a good one. I'm gonna have a good Friday. Game isn't until Saturday night, right? So today I get to chill out. Tomorrow, kind of chill out a little bit beforehand. Get to watch a bunch of other games. It sucks that the Oklahoma-Tennessee game though was right around the same time. I wish that was at like a earlier game, because I really think Tennessee might put it on OU this weekend. I'll just be honest with you. It could get ugly. We'll see what happens, but that's okay. We'll watch our game, and we'll keep an eye on some of these other games, and then get ready for, like I said, that Mississippi State, and then of course the bye week after that. So y'all go out, have a good time. It's good talking to everybody. Thanks for making me laugh. Thanks for laughing. I always say, when I say life is always short, live each day like it's your last, because one day it will be. It's just because life is precious and we take it for granted sometimes. So I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just a person who plays one here on the sports show. But I just say, man, enjoy life, man. Just enjoy it. Too many things, too many reasons, too many things to just whatever. Just enjoy your life. Just enjoy your life. I don't have to say nothing else. You guys know what the show lineups look like. Y'all know what the show lineups look like. And last thing, go out and do something special for yourself. If nobody's done something special for you in a long time, go out and do something nice for yourself. It doesn't have to be spectacular. You don't have to buy yourself a trip to Paris or Rome or something to that effect. But just treat yourself to a nice lunch, or go out, buy yourself some nice piece of clothes. Just something for yourself to let yourself know that you love you. All right? Y'all take care. Peace out. Peace out. I got to hit the end button. Life is good.